Welcome to our NFL recap show where we discuss the early games from today and do Sunday night's game preview. Well, I will say that the theme that I will say right now, Dwayne, going that I got from week one is specifically one thing. Professional players still need preseason.
Yeah, but I didn't know you was going live with this game still going on, so you got to
Yeah,
explain.
we usually
This
do
is
it like
this
that. We both
nah,
watching it, so
this is crunch time, bro. So I hear what you're saying, but when you got a
you know,
game like this, man,
Red Zone has taken over all the stations because the Giant Titans game is down to the wire. Dable went for two after scoring a touchdown,
yo,
which was
he
big.
keeps moving, yo.
Tyler Lewan is just doing all types of stuff, and you could see that a lot of these games, regardless of the score, these games are very sloppy.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of the games, but folks, we here. We're gonna discuss these games for real quick. Both of us is watching the end of the Giant game, so we're on that and see if Tennessee is going to try to get themselves in field goal range. The time is not on their side. One timeout left, and their offensive lineman, Taylor Lewan, who I think is one of the better tackles in the league, he moves, and you see a lot of movement with these linemen. All of a sudden, when these quarterbacks are in shotgun,
He's moving again. How are they not calling that? And I love Taylor Lewan. Good hands by the Giants defensive lineman. Hey man, I'm sorry. I did not think my man was going live with this game on the line. I know we supposed to be like recapping other games, but it's hard to talk about another game when you got a 2 point game with less than a minute to go.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
I mean, this ain't good viewing because we silent, but
Yeah, just we'll be there. We'll be there. Big
yo,
big down coming
dude
up.
keep moving, yo. He keeps moving. And they got him for a hole there, I think. They taking a lot of time. I think that's holding on Tennessee though. Oh no, they got it on the Giants again.
But they need a little
Wow.
bit. They need another 10 yards for a field goal attempt.
Wow.
Wow, big call on the Giants. Real big call, real big call.
Wow.
Uh, they only need 10 yards. They only need 10 yards for a field goal attempt.
They still got one timeout. That's big when you got this much. And they get about 10 more yards. They don't even got to throw to the sideline. And Giants just helped them out too by taking the timeout. I guess to get themselves set.
Yeah, one of the things that they got to be careful. They got to be careful is playing for the field goal instead of playing like it's not. They need to get within range.
Nah, man, you play for the field goal.
No,
You
I'm
have to.
saying I'm
There's no way.
saying a lot of times teams that get the yardage for the field goal that they want, and then just waste a play or two.
The goal is to get in range for your field goal kicker to make this field goal.
Timeout by the Giants. Woo.
They had to settle themselves. I don't think that's a terrible timeout. Yeah, again, man, we'll be with it. But I all of a sudden I was talking to my man behind the scenes, and then I saw the countdown for us to go live. So
Well, I wanted to get right to it. My bad, Dwayne, for not giving you a warning of what was going on, and because I know we're not going to be on for no hour discussing these games.
wide open ball game. Wow. Now, do they take shots? I don't know. Now, what you said comes into play. I
That
don't know if
that
they take shots or if they just settle for the chip shot field goal now, but that is
it
a big time throw. And this is a rookie wide receiver just
and that's
beating
always tricky for me,
Darnay
Dwayne,
Holmes as a drum.
because do you run the ball in the line of scrimmage to try to center the ball in the middle of the field? Like these, or do you take a knee? That's
No,
always tricky.
you send her the ball. You send her the ball, but they're about to get a delay of game.
See what I'm saying? It's always tricky
He
when it
had to
comes.
waste the timeout. They got to kick the field goal now. That was terrible. That was terrible.
You got to kick the field goal now. So now, if it's a muff snap, they have no timeouts. If they land on the ball,
I ain't worried about a muff snap. I'm just worried about them celebrating so much that they let the play clock go down. That's terrible end game by a pretty veteran coaching staff. But right now, you don't mess around with it. You kick the field goal right now, unless you run it on first down and then try to clock it. But I don't even know if I play around with that.
Yeah,
Because if you kick it now, probably about 8 seconds runs off. Well, no, they going. I think he's gonna slide in the middle of the field and then clock it for the field goal.
got to be careful with that.
I mean, it's 18 seconds. If you run and you get down, but if the Giants lay on the ball carrier, hurry up. Hurry up. You don't got no timeouts. Hurry
Wow.
up. What are you doing?
Wow.
Like, that was very dangerous.
Well,
man.
see, that's what I mean. And these teams don't.
Nah, the problem, no. The problem with this
Was
thing
the play
is
before that.
the timeout. That's the problem. If they didn't waste that timeout, they would have been fine. But wasting that timeout, now if I'm the Giants, I ice this mug. Because this ain't no chip shot. It's still 47 yards, man.
Yeah.
It's still a 47-yard field goal, man. There's no guarantees that he's going to make this shit.
But those that's in the chat, it's a couple of y'all I can't see. Your comments don't come up. But we want to talk about what we're talking about. We're talking about the NFL Week 1. We're recapping the week, talking about some of the games, and then we're going to do a little preview on the Sunday night game, and then we're going to be in and out. Show's probably going to be about 20 minutes. We already got like 6-7 minutes into the show because this Giant game is down to this kick. In the words of Dwayne, he always says one thing about this, and he said it Week 1
Never
already.
trust a field goal kicker.
Never trust a field goal kicker. That's Dwayne's mantra.
That's a big win for the Giants, though.
That's Dwayne's mantra. Never trust a field goal kicker. He's been saying it for years. Well, Dwayne, it's been some interesting stuff all week. We could just run through these games. Saints won. Chicago won. Steelers won. Eagles won. Miami won. Ravens won. Commanders won. The Browns won. The Colts in Houston ended in a tie. The Giants won. Minnesota's going to win. And the Chiefs is about to win. Well, they won, basically.
Yeah, man.
What we don't have to go into all the games, but what would be your theme of what you've seen today?
It's kind of like we talked about earlier. I think these players got to realize that they do need some game action in the preseason. Somebody just posted in the words of Dwayne Morris, never trust the field goal kicker. Yeah, that's my mantra, man. It's one of the things I believe. But yeah, preseason is necessary. You saw a lot of like soft tissue injuries today, hamstrings, Unfortunately, TJ Watt, it's feared that he may have tore a pec muscle.
For reigning defensive player of the year.
Yeah, so it's like, you got to be careful in these situations, man.
Yeah, one thing I noticed with us watching most of the Steeler-Bengal game is these players are beat up. It's amazing, like you said, that the veterans didn't really play much in the preseason, but they came into the game and they got beat up. The Steelers took a lot of losses. I think Najee Harris and that Liz Frank or plantar fasciitis injury that he's got, what's going to happen is he's going to either have to shut it down or it's going to tear. And I think that because of the type of athlete he is and the type of organization he's going to try to play with it until it finally does tear.
Yeah, he's too far down the road on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So he has to
And
play with it at this point.
and I know Cameron Hayward. He went to the bench. He went to the locker room twice today. He got beat up bad. But other than that, Joe Burrow had a really bad game, which I was surprised. And I'm surprised at their coaching staff. As usual, Zach Taylor just does not believe in protecting his quarterback. A lot of times they were empty, and a lot of times the running back wasn't in the backfield to chip at the Steelers coming. And Burrow made a lot of mistakes. And they even still had a chance to win, but they lost because their kicker, he didn't have his holder, and their kicker looked at average at best today.
Yeah, I mean, problem with the Bengals is always going to be the same problem as the offensive line, and they thought they addressed it. I mean, La'el Collins, who we know very well, did not have the greatest of games in his debut. You know, it's a lot of raggedy games, and I just really think that's a byproduct of them not playing in the preseason.
Except Patrick Mahomes, huh?
Well, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, man. He ain't, he just gonna be who he be. You know what I'm saying? So
I think today's win for a couple teams was big for their team. That Minnesota win, I think, was big for that franchise with beating Green Bay. Green Bay is going to be Green Bay. As long as they got 12, they're going to be competitive. But I think that Minnesota, that was a big win for them and their new coach and what they're trying to do and moving forward. I really, really thought the Saints would not have so many problems with the Falcons, but they did. And one thing about Arthur Smith is that he's going to try to run an offense that's basically curtailed for his players. We're running, basically a wishbone at sometimes with having Cordell Patterson and Mariota. So I think the as they say, what would be the talk of tomorrow with the Monday morning quarterbacks would be exactly what me and you said. These veteran players still need training camp. They still need the preseason games. They need to get their legs above them instead of trying to ramp up 10 days before the season. So we've seen a lot of sloppy football, but overall, good teams win and bad teams do what they do. Big win for the Giants. The Giants, I still don't like Daniel Jones and what he does. He does not protect the football at no whatsoever. He's very sloppy with the football. It looked like Saquon is back to who Saquon is. But the Giants' offensive line still is bothersome.
I mean, it's big for that organization to get a win in week one.
Yeah.
Because for the past 5 years, they just haven't won their openers. They haven't even won their first 2 games. So I love his aggressive nature, man. He's very aggressive with his play calling. Very aggressive going for that 2-point conversion. It was a great effort by Barkley to get in the end zone because it looked like the Titans could have had him stopped. But I like the aggressiveness. Hey, man, it's a league that comes down to kicks. And if you looked at the games today, a lot of games came down to a field goal kicker. Some of them made them. Some of them missed them. You had a game that ended in a tie today. One of the games I was really strong on the Falcons. I said it this earlier today. I thought they could win this game. They had every opportunity to win it. They didn't get it done. A lot of penalties today, a lot of missed tackles, a lot of broken coverages. And again, I just think going forward in this present NFL, these first games of the first 2 weeks are going to be choppy, man, because they just don't play in the preseason. It's only 3 preseason games, and it's not a lot of starters that play in them. But
did you ever find out who's covering Justin Jefferson?
Didn't find that out, and I don't think the Vikings figured that out. But I'll tell you what, I mean, not the Vikings. I don't think the Packers figured it out. But I'll tell you what the Packers have to figure out is how to protect Aaron Rodgers. Because if today is any indication, it could be a season of him taking a lot of blows, man. He was really, really getting hit today, man. Baker Mayfield, yeah, he's Baker Mayfield, man. Some good plays, some bad plays. At the end of the day, you had a kicker, a rookie kicker in York that kicked what was officially a 58-yarder that looked like it would have been good from 78. So, I mean, I'm looking at this kick right now, man. In college, he had a strong leg at LSU, man. Um, yeah, man. You know, that's something, you know.
Yeah.
So interesting things there. Carson Wentz getting the win and with the Commanders, you know. And now it's on the team that I root for, that we root for. We could be the only NFC East team to lose if we don't come through tonight. So there is that, you know. So we're just gonna see what it's gonna be, man.
How you feel about I was thinking about tonight's game, and to be perfectly honest with you, the way that both offensive lines with the way that both offensive lines looked and the injuries that both offensive lines have, I look for two teams to try to establish their line of scrimmage early with a lot of run, and whatever team can establish a run, you'll see those teams, and Brady's very good for it. You'll see those teams trying to establish the play action off of those runs. So whoever
Mhm.
established the line of scrimmage early, and try to make the teams one dimensional where you only doing one thing, but whoever can get it going early with the mix of run and pass, preferably the run first to establish the pass, I believe to win. They last year they had a very very strange game where the Cowboys couldn't run the ball last year on them, and I think it set the tone for what type of team they was going to have going forward. Where I just didn't think that last year they ever really had confidence in their running game, and their running backs was good until both of them got hurt last year with Zeke and Tony Pollard. And I think that one of the things that the Bucks have had is Brady's security blanket in Gronk. So it's going to be interesting in who that Brady feels comfortable with on those third downs. And Brady, one thing that most people don't realize, Brady does not throw to the sidelines. He is a middle of the field quarterback. He always utilized the middle of the field. So this is something that Dallas need to watch out for on defense. And I'm gonna be interested to see who the identity of both of these teams. Both of these offenses are going through a restructure of identity. So it's going to be interesting. I, but I look forward for tonight's game.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. You know, bad weather somewhere, you know, that's not an issue in Dallas, but you know, you look at the young fella, man, Trey Lance, and it was up and down performance, you know.
You know,
He did some things good. He missed some wide open receivers. He did some good things with his legs. Some of his reads were a little off. He threw a bad pick. Um, and that's a lot of pressure on that young man. Because you still got Jimmy G there looking over his shoulder. And a lot of people in that locker room believe in Jimmy G. So if the 49ers get off to a rough start, you know, the Jimmy G watch is going to be real, man. And Shanahan's going to have to be very careful how he handles that, because that could be an ongoing problem for this
you
whole
know
year.
one of the things that always concern me about when you have a quarterback that takes a team to a certain spot, and then you have another quarterback waiting in the wings is you never know how that quarterback is going to go. We seen it. Prime example was when Patty McHolmes took over. He took that offense to a whole nother level from Alex Smith. And I think that a lot of these coaches are trying to follow the same template. But one thing about Jimmy G that a lot of people may not want to give him credit for, if he's healthy, he gets them to the playoffs. We talk about deep into the playoffs. So I think that Trey Lance and, like you said, the organization needs to be very, very careful because the 49ers have a championship roster. they probably have the best offensive defensive lines combo in the league. And you lose that locker room with messing around with the quarterback and people wasting their careers and feel like, why you got this guy in, we got a guy better in the backup. It'll be interesting. But I really, and I know that, unfortunately, where this kid played in college, you can't stand. But I'm happy for Justin Fields.
I
I,
mean, I don't. One thing about me, man, I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm a fan of athletes. So Justin Fields being from Ohio State doesn't affect anything. He's a very good quarterback in college. Started at Georgia, transferred to Ohio State, had a very good career at Ohio State, and once they get to the NFL, man, I root for them. I root for a lot of players in the NFL. I just don't root when they play against my team, but I want to see a lot of these players perform. There was some interesting plays, man. Like everybody's on the Eagles. That was a close game with the Lions, and I don't know. Can you win championship football with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback? I don't know. I
well,
don't know.
Dwayne, one thing, and to not take away from what you're saying about Jalen Hurts, but what concerns me is, yes, we understand that most of these quarterbacks is coming straight out of 7 on 7ville. But what bothers me, and it bothers me from the aspect of how valuable your quarterback is. A lot of these quarterbacks take a lot of hits, and a lot of them be in these RPO situations. Some of them still don't know how to slide, and you mentioned it numerous times a day. The NFL needs to look at that grounding call because these quarterbacks, because they're the quarterback, they're just throwing the ball to the ground when they're in RPO and that end don't bite and that end is about to hit them. They just throw the ball away or they may take a hit. So I just think that a lot of these quarterbacks, they're not going to make it past week 3. A lot of these quarterbacks is getting hit and they getting hit hard. But
Yeah, I mean, that's just the league. They're going to protect these quarterbacks. They're doing everything in their power with these new grounding rules. So, um, quarterbacks is the league, man. So, it is what it is. And we're going to see what it is, man. It's an offensive league. They don't let defenders do a lot of things in this league, man.
yeah,
So, they're gonna try to protect the quarterbacks. It's gonna be real interesting, man. There's a lot of interesting storylines to follow. Um, like I said, you got Dayball and Giant fans are loving him right now, as they should, with his aggressiveness. Giant fans are very happy to see what they think is the return to Saquon Barkley. He looked really good today, and just when he's healthy, you got to put him right at the top of the list of the best running backs in this league. He's dynamic. He does wonderful things when the ball is in his hand, both catching it and running it. Um, Good and bad, like I said, good and bad quarterback play, man. Like Patrick Mahomes is who he is, but you
yeah.
got a lot of quarterbacks that got a lot to prove this year. Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, um, Trevor Lawrence with a new coach in Jacksonville, David Mills in Houston. What is Mac Jones going to be in New England? And now he a little banged up after week 1. So it's going to be very interesting. Like for me as a Cowboy fan, man, it's going to be interesting to see if Dak Prescott's ankle holds up. We got a rookie left tackle. You know what I mean? How is that going to go? Um, Number 11 for the Cowboys, great player. Is he going to be reading these plus clippings or is he going to be the same Michael Parsons? What's Trayvon Diggs going to do? I got the jersey on because I love him, but what is he going to do? So there's a lot of question marks in this league. For me, everybody's making it like clear cut that Buffalo's just going to win it all. I don't know, man.
I'm I'm
I
I'm gonna
might see
say
it
this,
wide
Dwayne.
open.
I'm gonna say this about with Buffalo and what I've seen so far. Whatever one of these teams could get their offensive line together the quickest, will be all right. Because the Chargers are loaded, and it's going to be interesting out
Yeah,
west.
the Chargers are
But they
loaded,
got a coach. They
but they
got a
got a
coach who could
bone.
just destroy what they're
They
doing.
got a bonehead coach. who once again on the day defies logic when you're up 10-3 late in the first half, deep in the other team's territory. You kick the field goal and go up 10. Like, this guy continues to go for these fourth down plays. Does he not hear what we all hear as far as Sean Payton would give up his right arm? Let me tell you something, man. Everybody thinks Sean Payton to Dallas. If it comes down between a decision for Dallas or San Diego for Sean Payton, the decision is easy. Gotta go to San Diego. And I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I'm saying that. You gotta go to San Diego, man.
Any final thoughts, Wayne?
Hey, man, it's week 1. Everybody that's 1-0 think they're going to the Super Bowl. Everybody that's 0-1 think their coach should be fired. But you just gotta let it play out, man. Hey, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the Michigan man, Tom Brady, is back for season 23, man. That's big. Todd Bowles getting another opportunity to be a head coach. Tampa Bay, man, I think people are underrating Tampa Bay's receiving core. Very good receiving core. If Godwin's playing tonight, you got Jones, you got Godwin, you got Julio Jones. People forget that Julio Jones is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. But what is going to be interesting tonight is if the Dallas Cowboys defensive front can get pressure on Brady, because the Tampa Bay offensive line is all banged up. But in the same regard, what is the Cowboys offensive line going to do against that Tampa Bay front, which is very difficult to deal with? Tampa Bay is the favorite to win it. Hey, it's week 1, a new season. Hope springs eternal. And just hope for a good game, man. I hope the Cowboys do what they got to do. Keep Dak Prescott healthy, man.
With that, we'll see you guys next Sunday for our morning show, our review show of week 2. Have a good week, and we'll see you guys next week.